for military too. I mean, I've talked to guys military-wise and military. I'm saying, I'm saying citizens as well as people who weren't over there, as well as military.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. So, but yeah, so on the military side, looking at it, yes, because I think, and there were those there in Iraq under Operation New Dawn, and kind of a large part of what soldiers and Marines were doing at that time. The major line of effort was force protection, meaning don't die, right? So the mission was relegated to just keep yourself safe and let's get our gear out of here. And so people cast doubts on, why am I here? What are we doing, right? We're giving support to Iraq and to Afghanistan that doesn't seem to have as much passion about their own country as we seem to be pouring into it. And so that breeds, doubt and waning support amongst military service. I've seen it, where they start wondering, what was all this about? Right. You're so far removed from the impetus of the problem. You're so far removed from that, you start to wonder, okay, what's the goal here? What's the end states that we're trying to drive towards?
Right, and I feel like some leaders make you feel bad for questioning that, and that's a poor word for it, feel bad. But I feel like there's an attack when something is questioned. What are we doing? Yeah. And I read Jocko Willink's book Extreme Ownership, and he talks in there about how without going through everything, but he makes the comment that this certain situation was his fault because he wasn't clear on why they were doing something. And I get it, they're SEALs, they're special forces, right? But I don't know. I feel like some of that should bleed over into the grunts, so to speak. The lowest man on the totem pole should probably know why and what's going on. But that 20-year gap, I feel like, was a disconnect from citizens as well as military. Yeah. And it's not Vietnam, right, where the support is just... And I don't, sometimes I wonder if that was blown up because of media stuff, mostly. But some of that stuff still goes on right now. Yeah. But I feel if there was I guess I'm trying to find out what could be done differently to help it connect again, where you have not just a blind support for nothing, but knowing why you're doing something. And I relate that to citizenship as well. Like, what am I trying to do to make the country better, as well as what am I trying to do military-wise to defend it?
I don't know if you'll get it, because, and that's a consequence the military is going to have to pay, I think. So if it's true, and I'm not saying that it is, but if it is true that there has been kind of this I'm searching for the most appropriate word here, but if it's true that service members have become disillusioned on why they joined and why they're serving, then we're going to see more and more service members leave in a time where the military is already in a retention and recruiting crisis, and it's only going to exacerbate the process. And so in the long run, if you look on it in the long term, when support for the military wanes, retention continues to go down, and recruitment suffers, all of those are indicators to these folks aren't believing in what they're signing up for, right? And it kind of goes back, or it's at least linked to the first little bit of this discussion where we talked about World War II, and then post 9/11. It was easy to identify what you were going to fight, who the enemy was, what you're now, especially in a polarized political environment, there's a lot of folks that don't understand what they're wanting to, what they're serving for, and those people are leaving, right? And so that is something that I don't think that we'll truly understand for maybe another 5 to 10 years when we look back and say, hey, this is why we suffered some of those problems.
Yeah.
But I think that's mitigated with the unifying act again. Unfortunately, I think history's proven that that's probably a conflict that no one wants, and that's what people rally around. And so, with an ill-defined enemy or an ill-defined end state, why are people going to join?